Pint and Click Podcast. My name is Caleb.
And my name is Greg.
And we are going to talk about your favorite video games. So grab a pint of your favorite drink, find a nice, comfy chair, and drink a potion of strength while we dive into this.
I have the strength today, actually.
Nice. I don't.
No.
I need that potion more than ever.
It's a rough Tuesday. Is that the problem, Caleb? We're recording on Tuesday, really threw you off?
Yeah, the Tuesday part.
Your Mondays are your strong days.
No.
No.
I don't think they exist. I think every day is one of those days.
You just don't want to wake up?
Everybody something, yeah. That's how the song goes.
Now, Caleb, we had a rare get together this weekend.
We did.
We did.
Yeah, that was pretty weird.
Couple of boys out in the world.
Couple of boys out in the woods,
Out in the
building
woods.
a house out of nothing.
A hut.
A mud hut.
In that mud hut, I think
Yeah.
we perfected how you play NBA 2K Playgrounds.
Yeah, we did. We really did.
Yeah. So, for those of you who want the secret, what you do is you take the Joy-Cons have to be split, separate, in your one in each hand. None of this controller stuff, and you have to sync one of each person's controller to player one, and the other of each person's controller to player two. So you're both essentially controlling the different guys on each team.
Yeah, we did movement sticks controlled to each other's players.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was just a treat.
It was a real
Just
treat.
a treat. Yeah.
There were tears in my eyes at one point.
It was good. It was a real good time. I think that's how the game was meant to be played, honestly.
I also believe that. Also, we discovered that Party Treats is a pretty good Switch party game.
Is that what it's called? Didn't even know. Yep, it's a good time. I like it.
Yeah.
Fun game.
Maddie kept magneting you to the start of the maze when you were at the end, about to beat it.
So good.
That was very good.
Real fun.
Yeah, but we talked about Baldur's Gate, but we didn't really get into too much stuff about game stuff that we would have gotten into on the podcast. Have to kind of bar talking about video games in our personal lives. Yeah, it's like saving the content.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, Caleb, you playing anything good this week?
Nope. No, I have. I've taken a break from Baldur's Gate, honestly, because I've just been slamming it real hard, and I don't want to beat the game before I finish all of the side stuff, and I don't want to do all of the side stuff before, I don't know, it's a whole list of, like, I want to do this before this, and eventually it just got to a point where, like, I've played so much Baldur's Gate that, like, I need a small break, need to chill out, play something else, because as I told you, it went from being not in my top 10 to being number 6, and I'm happy to report that if I play, I think, 2 more hours of it, it's going to become my number 5. So
wow, so climbing the ranks.
Yeah, it's gonna beat New Vegas.
The ink splots will have something to say about that.
The ink splots.
I couldn't remember their name.
The ink splat.
Is that what their name is?
Ink spots.
Yeah, that was close. I just threw an L in there.
Threw an L in, yeah.
That was my own creative license.
Speaking of that, though, Greg, you have you found a store yet that sells peanut butter by the splat?
No?
Okay, I'm still looking.
I do ask them, just take a spoon, dig it deep into the peanut butter, and just splat it right into my palm.
Not even a plate.
No. I'm
going to cup my hands. I want you to fill them.
Mm-hmm. It makes checking out a real pain. It's real bad.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Peanut butter by the splat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've taken a little break. The last game I played, I dipped back in and quickly dipped out. But we'll talk about that. But I dipped in to some Stardew Valley.
Oh, you're a jam boy.
I'm a jam boy. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something. All right, let's get into it. Here's the thing. Stardew Valley, I know everybody loves it. Beautiful game. I'm not here to shit on it. I also think it's a beautiful game. But let me shit on it real quick. No, I'm just kidding for the most part. Game's great. I love Stardew Valley. It is truly like a one of a kind game. There are games like it, but I don't think any game comes close to like the feelings that Stardew Valley gives you, especially like it does such a great job with characters and meeting people and like for lack of better words, you genuinely do feel like you're the new farmer moving to a big town, and like the intro quest where like you have to go and meet all 28 people. Is that it? I think it's 28. I just did this yesterday. I'm pretty sure it's 28. I could be wrong. Anyways, yeah, you got to go meet everybody, and like it's funny because um, doing that again, like so I started a new save. That's where I'm going with this, but doing that again, it was just funny. I've played this game a million times, but even then, I still got this fun feeling of like, oh, I got to go meet all these NPCs, and yeah, it's a one of a kind game, and like you do feel like you're meeting these NPCs, and like there's weight to it in a way. Um, but I gotta say, after I've done countless amounts of saves on Stardew Valley. I've played countless hours. I gotta say though, after starting a new save, after doing most of not necessarily most of what the game has to offer, but most of what I like to do in the game, um, going back into it, there wasn't a whole lot that was super fun to me. Um, and I forgot how much of a grind the early game is. Like the fact that it's not Minecraft and you don't just have the whole building library at your disposal, is both really cool for like your first playthrough where you're constantly learning new things to craft. But it also sucks for your 100th playthrough where like I know in order to make those jams, if I want to be that jammy boy again, I gotta grind all of these levels and what, like farming or something, foraging, something like that, just to get the jam buckets, and only then can I officially start doing my jams. So, in some ways, it's kind of a grindy nightmare. But yeah, jump back into Stardew Valley. I had a good time for a while, and it's something I might continue playing a little bit here and there. But for the most part, yeah, man, that early game is long.
Yeah, that's why you have to do what I do and just keep playing the same save.
Yeah, see, I would. I like to experience all the game has to offer though. Like I wanna try, like I wanna interact with all the NPCs and interact with them differently. Like I want to see what do because each NPC has like those hard events and stuff. And so like, and I know you can continue getting hard events with people, but like there's also the special events when you choose to like romance a character or something. So like I don't know. I look forward to seeing that kind of stuff. And in my save where I'm at, I've already progressed through a saga, and it yeah, I believe it or not, my original save, I haven't even made it completely through the first year. I got to day 24 of winter. Um, it's almost a little winter festival, their little Christmas. Uh, I got right there, and yeah, just kind of lost interest in what I was doing, and decided I've made it far enough. Time to start over.
Now, of course, my question to you, Caleb, is will you be picking up Haunted Chocolatier when it comes out?
Oh, Greg, I'm so glad you brought that up because that's what I was going to say next. Absolutely. I think that's really my only issue I have with Stardew Valley, and it's not even an issue with the game; it's an issue with myself. But that's really my only thoughts on Stardew Valley as a whole. Mostly, yeah, I like Stardew Valley. I like everything it brings. I want a new gimmick. I don't want to be stuck to farming. And I know you can do other things in Stardew Valley, but at the end of the day, it's a farming sim, right? So I want a new gimmick. And that's where the new game by what's his name, Chucklefish? Is that who it is?
Concerned Ape.
Concerned Ape. Oh, is Chucklefish? Were they like they were somewhere on there, right?
Maybe publisher.
Okay, listen. If I'm just spouting bullshit and Chucklefish isn't a thing and I just made that up,
It's definitely
that's
a thing.
funny. I've heard the name. I
Oh,
assumed that's what it was.
hold on, though.
Oh,
Well, one of the first things that came up when I Googled Chucklefish
yeah.
was controversy.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, no.
In 2019, Chucklefish were accused of exploiting around a dozen voluntary contributors during the development of Starbound.
Oh, jeez. I really messed this one up. Um, yeah. Anyways, yeah. I'm looking forward to the new game by Concerned Ape. Where yeah, I just want I want a new gimmick. Farming has lost its charm on me. Greg, you remember when we played a good round of Farming Simulator, and I flipped a truck.
I do remember that.
Yep. So that should tell you I'm done with farming. That's the fun I had, was flipping a truck and getting it stuck.
That was those farming simulator games. I don't care what anyone else says.
They're amazing.
They're not good. Just not good.
They are the best games I've ever played. Call of Duty? Who's that? Farming 2023? Ooh.
One thing that is, I've said it before and I will say it again. I don't know how Concerned Ape does it. This is my continuation of my heaping of praise on one person developers who make games of huge size. Like, I'm pretty sure Concerned Ape is still like making content for updates for Stardew while working on Haunted Chocolatier, and like I just don't know how you have that much time in a day.
Yup. Yeah, no clue. No clue. I've dabbled in like game making, and I always step out at stage 1. Like,
Yeah.
I'll start something and like I've done very basic coding before, so like sometimes I'll think like, oh, I can do some coding. I could make like, so it's a dumb goal to have in life, but like something I've always wanted to do was to make an entirely text based what do you call it? Kind of like choose your own adventure, like the old ones from
Yeah.
way back, where you'd say like open door and you type it. I've always wanted to make something like that, and I always start coding for it, and like I vaguely know how to do it, and also like am absolutely using resources to get myself through it. But like I'll get halfway done with like one line, and I'll be like, yeah, this is a project for another day.
Well,
So
depending on the programming language you use, there is just like there becomes a point where it's basically just copy and paste and then change your text for like that kind of thing.
yeah, absolutely. The problem is I never get far enough to just copy and paste. I get far and then I think, all right, that's it. I've made a sentence. I've made the intro to the game. I think I'm good.
Now, I want to talk about a game that is long hung over my head, I will say. This game is a game I want to finish, but every time there's something that stops me.
Kirby's Dream Course.
It is not Kirby's Dream Course.
Oh,
Game is Half-Life 2, Episode 2.
nice.
Have you played... Now, let me ask you, Caleb. Have you played any of the Half-Life games?
I never have. They're on my bucket list of games I need to try eventually.
Half-Life 2 is a great game.
Yeah. Before you continue, I'm just going to preface by saying I honestly have only heard good things about all Half-Life games. Never. I don't know if I've ever heard anything bad.
I haven't played the first Half-Life. I've played Half-Life 2, played Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and I've gotten to a certain point in Half-Life 2 Episode 2. Haven't played Alex. But...
That's the VR one, right?
Yes.
Gotcha.
I would recommend Half-Life 2 because it's like it's the episodes aren't really self-contained as much, whereas Half-Life 2, once you start it at a certain point, or you can pick it up and they want you to start there, and then you finish it and the story concludes, you know? So I would recommend it. It's a very good game. My problem with Half-Life 2, Episode 2, is I get to a point relatively early in the game where I have multiple times gotten to this point and had various things stop me. And the point in this game that I'm talking about is basically in this game you start. Gordon Freeman is who you are, and you're with Alex, the character from the VR game, who is also like a sidekick through many of the Half-Life games. And basically, you're going and you're trying to get back to. I could be wrong, but I think it's Citadel, where where her dad is, and like your like group of people are. She gets injured along the way. Some weird kind of alien dude comes and it's like, me and my people can heal her, but we got to take her to this place. Pardon me. And the place that that you guys take her to is this bunker where, like, I don't think it's head crabs, but a different Half-Life creature of sorts is ambushing from 4 different tunnels in this underground area. And basically what you're doing is it's like you've got 2 turrets, 2 NPCs, and your player character. And you have to go through different waves where they're coming through different tunnels and fight off these sand ants or whatever they are. And the issue I've come across every time, or one of the issues I've come across, is like at some point you just can't cover all 4 of the the trails that they're coming from, and you get overrun, and it keeps kicking you and killing you. But then yesterday I was doing pretty well. I picked the game up because it was my way of not buying Dishonored for $199 for my Steam Deck.
Yep.
Because I've played the Dishonored games and never been able to get into them, so why would $199 on the Steam Deck change anything? But I said, okay, you know what? I've never played Half-Life Episode 2. There's similarities there. Got to this point again. It's relatively early in the game, honestly. And I was doing pretty well this time. I found that there are a couple of places where there are some trip mines that you can set up that will help you manage the hordes that are coming from different tunnels. But what ended up happening was I got to a point where I had a trip mine down. I picked another one up with the gravity gun to get ready to place it. And something in the code messed up where it seems like because I had one in my hand and one was exploding, it just froze and kicked me out of the game.
Oh, yep.
So like I was on track to finish this part of the game that had held me up for many attempts over many different sessions of playing, and then the game had a bug kick me out. So it was frustrating.
Can I guess what happened next?
What's that?
Did your Steam Deck become a Switch because those controllers are ripped off of that console?
They did not.
Okay.
Luckily,
that's good.
Cooler heads prevailed. And I calmly set it down and walked away.
After punching a fist-sized hole through the screen, huh?
Well, it's out for repair right now. Everything will be all right. Valve's gonna send me the bill. No, so I'm debating if I go back to this game and try one more time to get through this part. Or if that was a sign from the gods that I'm just not meant to beat Half-Life 2 Episode 2.
Here's what I recommend. You remember a couple episodes ago we were talking about the Mad Max game, and I was telling you about how I was very close to beating it, but I never did. And I was going to go back and redo the game. A couple weeks ago, I did go back, and I was about to restart the game, and then I realized I really was on the last mission. After like a year, well, more than that, I don't think I've played this game since like 2019, maybe even before that. So after many, many years of never touching this game, I put it in, I booted up my old save. I spent, I don't know, maybe 2-ish hours making sure my car was good and upgraded, and then I beat the final mission. And I have now completed Mad Max. But this took me from when the game came out, I want to say like 2015, from when it came out around then till 2023. That game sat on my game shelf, mocking me. And I tell you what, going back to it, it was a great experience because I had no past rage that I was thinking about, and so I went into that last mission and beat it. Not necessarily with ease, but did beat it. Perhaps with steez.
Never say that again.
Okay, I'll leave.
I'm in a mood of like going back to games that I've put down historically. I don't.
You know what that means?
What's that mean?
You're going back to some Tack and the Power of Juju.
That game, I never put that game down in a way that I was like, oh no, I don't. This is dumb. I hate it.
Wait, what was it called?
Tack and the Power of Juju.
Well, yeah. Did the game have like another name though? Like, was there more to the title?
No, there were other games.
Oh, okay. Because I heard somebody mention it, and that's the only reason I bring it up. I heard it today.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was just listening. I always put on some like background noise while I'm doing work, and all of a sudden, whatever I was listening to might have been like an Oni NG thing. Maybe it was Oni and his cronies. But out of nowhere, somebody was talking about Tack and the Power of Juju, the game.
Yeah.
On did you play it on Xbox?
No, I played it on the GameCube.
Oh, they were talking about on the Xbox 360.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I wonder if they were talking about a different one. Because
Probably.
I don't think Power of Juju came out on the Xbox.
Interesting. Well,
The Staff of Dreams did.
that's what they were talking about. I do remember vividly hearing Staff of Dreams, yeah.
As well as the Great Juju Challenge.
Well, not that one. Greg, are you up for it?
For the challenge?
Are you up for the Juju Challenge?
That's the newest dance trend on TikTok.
The Juju
The
Challenge?
Juju Challenge.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that's what you have to do before they give you your yarmulke.
I'm staying far away from that one, bud. I'm staying so far away from that one.
No, it's with love and respect.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Ringo. Caleb, I've got I came upon the realization yesterday that we are under a month until the release of Starfield.
We are.
Can you believe
wow,
that?
wait. Yeah, we are. Nice.
Like, I mean, it's like 21, 22 days until the release of Starfield.
That's pretty nuts.
I can't believe it. I have nothing to go with that. I just had that realization and wanted to pass the mind boggle on to you.
That's pretty cool. I've been watching like latest games releasing and stuff. I'll give you a little peek into it.
So what have we got coming out?
So on August 22nd, we have a game, and I'm gonna try this pronunciation again. I believe it's Fort Solis.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. I feel like it might have a weirder pronunciation. But it's a space game. That's all I have for notes on it. It's a space game. That comes out on August 22nd. And I was planning on checking that out to see if it could satisfy my Starfield hunger until that drops. And then Everspace 2, which I also know nothing about. That released today, I think, actually. I think it was going to release on the 15th.
Yeah, I believe
so
it.
That's out.
I think it was an Xbox Game Pass game.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know nothing about it. I just saw that it was releasing soon, and it's space themed. And hey, at this point, I'll take what I can get to hold me over till Todd Howard comes around. Yeah,
till Papa Todd drops Starfield on my front door on Starfield Eve.
Oh, what a day that'll be. Greg, before we go anywhere else, I gotta ask you a burning question.
Okay.
You tried the new KFC funnel fries?
Nope, I haven't.
Oh my God, Greg.
I have not.
Here's the thing. Okay, listen. It's a rare day on this planet that I go to KFC or Taco Bell and love what I eat. Because let me tell you, I'm not a big KFC fan. Okay, not a huge Taco Bell fan. I think that's the only fast food restaurant that I leave from, and it leaves me feeling gross. Um, but I tell you what, the other day I went and I checked out. They've got these new funnel fries, and it's just these little funnel cake fries. It's exactly what they are. They're delicious. They're fucking amazing. Greg, I bring this up to say if you haven't had them, it's not like you should go check them out. It's go get them. This is this is a task. All right, it's worth it.
You hear my door in the background open and close.
I did hear that. Yeah.
I just like leave and go get them right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did hear. I did hear a door in your background.
Yeah, that happened. We ignored that.
Oh, okay.
I was
Gotcha.
joking, like I just left and got them mid podcast.
I thought you were leaving to go get him then.
We were talking about upcoming games, Caleb.
Yeah.
There's one that's coming to Game Pass on the 29th that I'm pretty excited about, or intrigued by. I wouldn't say like I'm intrigued by this game. I'm not going to oversell how excited I am for it. It's called Sea of Stars.
This sounds very familiar. I've definitely heard about this.
It kind of gives like Chained Echo vibes to me, just looking at the art style.
Okay, yeah, I've definitely seen this. Looking at some pictures, yeah.
And seeing the like pictures of it on Game Pass today,
Yeah.
it did make me kind of think back to my time earlier this year playing Chained Echoes, and made me excited to give it a try and see if I can get myself into another kind of old school RPG.
When does this come out?
August 29th.
Nice. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm into it.
There's this one picture with the big dragon. That's the one that really gets me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, Overwatch 2 came out on Steam this week. Do you know that?
I did not. Nice.
Came
That's
out
nice.
earlier this week on Steam, and it is already the worst game on Steam of all time.
Wow. Is it really?
Reviews have landed the game with an aggregate score, user score, of 1.09.
Why?
Microtransactions, I believe.
That'll do it. That'll
Yep.
do it.
Yeah, it's a real bummer if you're Blizzard, I guess.
Yeah, I just want to touch on so like you've heard
Hanzo.
about oh,
I just
okay. Tihanos.
That's one of the
So-
Overwatch heroes.
Yeah, I was just saying Thanos,
Oh,
but
okay.
putting a little T in it. I thought it was good. So I'm assuming you've heard about the controversy, kind of controversy. I don't know. The drama is a better word, I think, for it. But I'm assuming you've heard of the drama going on with Larian Studios, who made Baldur's Gate.
I don't think I have. No.
Oh well, it's more drama than anything else. It's not necessarily with them, but it's somebody. And I'm bringing this up unprepared because I wasn't necessarily planning on talking about this, so I don't have good names for you or anything. But
Well, my name's
somebody.
Greg.
Oh yeah, that's right. So Greg, somebody tweeted out talking about how people shouldn't look at Baldur's Gate 3 and expect that from other games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, other companies and stuff, and like there was a whole thing. A lot of game companies, big game companies, people from game companies were actually tweeting and saying like, "This is Rockstar level nonsense," and like, "Oh, you can't expect that." But I think that's dumb. That is the worst thing I've ever heard. I don't understand like. We should constantly be expecting more moving forward in games. And I understand, like, for a small studio, yeah, something that size is ridiculous and way too much to ask. Like, I would never look at what's his name, Chuckle Man over there, started Concerned Ape. Uh, I'd never look at Concerned Ape and be like, build Baldur's Gate 5. You know what I mean? It obviously not, but like, for in terms of companies like, companies like Blizzard or anyone really, EA, step it up. That's what I gotta say. We should constantly be expecting more from games, not being satisfied with where we're left in these garbage situations. It's become such a pay to not even a pay to play thing anymore. It's just become like, because that's the thing. You can now, they make games that you can play without paying, but it's still like all of those ads and stuff for paying are shoved down your throat. And like there was the whole thing that Diablo 4 did where they had the button to buy the battle pass uh, in the spot where the X normally is, so people ended up buying the battle pass and stuff. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I'm ready to say, hey, let's look at what Baldur's Gate did and let's learn from it and progress further with it. Not look at it and say that's way too much for us.
Well, so your takeaway from Baldur's Gate 3 as a developer, and granted I've never made a game in my life, so like let's just factor that in. But I don't think your takeaway from Baldur's Gate 3, even as a big AAA studio, should be, oh, there's no way we can ever uh, um, satisfy fans' expectations after Baldur's Gate 3 came out. You need to do a better job of setting expectations and setting the expectations for the scope of your games.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't make a vast open world game with like branching stories and 75,000 weapons, and then don't set expectations that high on your own.
Yeah, I think an annoying part of this for me too is also like I love Baldur's Gate 3. It is by far one of my favorite games I've ever played now. But with that being said, I disagree when people talk about like how Baldur's Gate is the most revolutionary game they've ever played. I don't think it's necessarily that insane. The point that I find with it is Baldur's Gate, I mean, yeah, kind of like what you're saying about managing expectations. Is Baldur's Gate laid out exactly what they wanted to do, had players play in early access, so it's not just like they were having players beta test before releasing a full game, in a broken state. They had players play, actively listened to feedback and like bugs, and wanted players to find ways to break the game and stuff. And they laid out what they wanted to do. And I knew from playing it in early access that the full release of this game was going to be wild, and it was. And that's like, I don't know, when you're making games now, and like, yeah, it goes back to like managing expectations and stuff, as well as like, also, I don't know, I think I personally would say striving for more too. Like Baldur's Gate isn't necessarily the first game to do a lot of what's in it. It's the first in ways, but it's not the first. Like, I mean, if you want to talk about like a medieval adventure, Skyrim came before it, and Skyrim did a lot of those same things of in terms of like freedom and what you can do, and like I don't know. I hate when we hear game companies talk about a game as if it's like something that nobody can beat, because like if a company's good at making games in that genre, that's awesome. But also, like, that doesn't mean nobody else can attempt to make a game there, or should attempt, shouldn't. I don't know what I'm saying. You get what I mean, though. For me, a big one is like nobody's talking, or people did talk about when it came out, I guess. But like, I don't really hear people that often say like, "Oh, there can never be a Western better than Red Dead Redemption 2." Because I think everybody knows Red Dead Redemption 2 also has so many areas where it could improve and be an even better Western experience.
Well,
You
but
know?
that game is vast. That game has a lot of content.
Well, yeah,
But I
and
don't
that's
remember the stories at that time of like, well, why we can't be held to this level of scope of a video game.
exactly. Yep.
So I mean, I don't. I guess I don't understand why developers are up in arms about the scope of Baldur's Gate 3 when like there have always been games that are pushing what scope is in video games.
Yeah, exactly. Even with like, I mean, I know this new Battlefield isn't necessarily the best Battlefield we've ever had, but like, it's still insane that like player numbers for how many people can be in a match with an FPS, that's only going up. And like, that's an insane thing. It's something small, and I don't think a lot of people really think about it. But like, even in that way, like, FPS games are still progressing that way of like how many players can actively play at the same time. And uh, yeah, I don't know. I 100% agree. I think it's I don't think anything should necessarily be viewed as like this is an impossible thing to follow up, because the goal of making a game shouldn't necessarily be like, I mean, I guess it is in terms of sales and stuff, but the goal for making a game to me shouldn't necessarily be like, oh, can we do what they did but better? Instead, it should be, let's make a game about a story we want to tell. You know what I mean? But
Well, but also I think, and to kind of shift the perspective on it, give me AAA games that don't have to be huge open world 60-hour adventures that take 5 to 8 years to make. I'm not going to complain about that either. You know what I mean?
yeah,
G-
I agree.
like give me something compact that I can get through in 10 to 12 hours.
Yeah,
There's not like a monolith of what video games need to be. Now more than ever, there isn't like a monolith of what you need to do to make a successful video game.
yeah,
So like, why are we talking about like, oh well, Baldur's Gate 3 can't be the standard? No, go make Assassin's Creed Mirage. As something self-contained that's a little smaller. Go make. I mean, what else? Go make a Sunset Overdrive.
Hey, speaking of that, did you hear that Assassin's Creed went gold and it's coming out a week early?
Yeah, but Mirage got moved up, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
wild. I feel like you
That's
don't see that
awesome.
ever now.
No, never. Jeez, yeah. So it also makes me a tiny bit fearful, but hey, if they're approving it and slapping their gold stamp on it,
Yeah.
then cool.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
interested in Mirage. I hope it's the kind of original Assassin's Creed experience that I can finally get into. I know I've said that so many times, but
yeah, I don't need to talk in length about it because it's not necessarily good things about it, but like I don't know. I'm part of a very small percent of people, I think, that are already a little disappointed with the game just based off of like gameplay they've shown. They said it was supposed to be a shift back to old Assassin's Creed, and still so much of it in the gameplay trailers looked like the new modern Assassin's Creed. There was a weird teleport ability and stuff like that that like I don't know. Takes away from the old part to me. But yeah, I'm still excited to see what it's like when it comes out, and I don't have too much judgment for it before. So yeah,
you mentioned Battlefield earlier.
yeah,
I wanted to ask, have you seen the game BattleBit Remastered?
I have.
Yeah, is that anything you'd want to pick up?
Uh, uh so that's a tough one. Uh, on one hand, it looks awesome. On the other hand, uh, I've never been one for Roblox, and I don't know. I I like to think that I'm not one of those people that needs like good graphics to play a game, and for the most part, I don't think I am. But there are some game types where like I feel like graphics add so much more. Um, like I love the newest Battlefield is. Listen, I still play it, but does that mean it's a good game? No, it's still awful. It is a shit game by all standards. Even now, after so many patches and updates, it's still bad. And like the amount of rough textures and stuff you come across, it pretty much makes it feel like you're playing a game in Roblox sometimes. But like I don't know, uh, I really prefer better detail and things, and like I know that's the whole style of BattleBit to be like kind of retro and cool looking, but like it's not for me personally.
Hmm. I can definitely see where you're coming from in that like a big part of the selling point for first person shooters and multiplayer shooters like that is that they've always been kind of pushing graphics forward, and that realism adds to that experience.
Yeah, and like I've always grown up like playing war games and stuff, and like started with a prime example is like Medal of Honor European Assault on the GameCube. I played that so much, and like the guns look pretty rough in it, and like I don't know why, it's just been a thing that I've liked growing up and playing games. Like I've only seen guns become more, not just guns, I just mean graphics in general, just using guns as an example here, but like um, I've only seen things get more and more detailed as the newer games have come out. And like, yeah, I don't know. For some reason, FPS games especially are like the one game where like I don't want to take a step backwards and have them look worse for some reason.
Right.
But it's completely a personal thing. Like, nothing against BattleBit. From everything that I hear, it sounds like an amazing shooter. But
yeah, what I remember hearing about it, which was kind of cool, was the fact that they basically made something that in most ways but graphically is as big in scope as Battlefield is.
Yeah.
But is also not riddled with trying to upsell you on microtransactions around every corner, and they tried to make a Battlefield game that didn't try to sell you on every upsell that they could.
Yeah. Yeah, in an age of battle passes and cosmetic skins. Yeah, it's always nice to see a game that's not shoving it down your throat.
Small team on that one too.
Really?
From what I've heard, it's a relatively small team.
That doesn't surprise me.
No.
It's good for them.
Mm-hmm.
You made a good product, lads.
Allegedly, I haven't played it.
Yeah, I haven't either. Allegedly.
Yeah.
You might have made a good product.
Some people like what you've done.
You've made an okay product.
I've heard the game's downright bad, actually.
You've done a bad job. Go home. Think about it. Think about what you did.
That's a good bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Caleb, I've sufficiently run out of things to talk about.
Yeah, I've sufficiently sauced my ideas.
Mm-hmm. Well, some exciting news on the podcast front. Pintandclick.com. Go to the tab in the menu that says episodes, and there is a post for every episode now where there is the audio, the description, and a AI generated transcript. So may not be completely accurate, but if you need or prefer a transcript to enjoy the Pint and Click podcast, that is where you can find them.
Nice. Look at that. What an achievement. We've come so far with it, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
So far. Tomorrow's the last day.
Yep, it's done tomorrow.
We'll end it there.
Mm-hmm.
Catch this episode for one day before we shut everything down.
Servers offline. If you have feedback on how bad of a game BattleBit Remastered is, send it to me, Greg at pintandclick.com.
And if you have feedback about how bad our podcast is, why don't you send that over to wendy.wendy@wendys.com.
It's a callback.
/Wendy's.
Going old school with that one.
Yeah. We're trying things. We're throwing things out here. It's the last episode. What are you going to do?
The best time to try new things is the last episode.
Yeah.
Well, Caleb.
Yeah.
It's been nice talking to you. It's been nice knowing you.
It's been quite a ride. Yeah.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.